Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Link to the Past Randomizer on Speed Gaming Daily. We've got another fun open race for you on Sunday, as we always do. Before we get too far into it, let me introduce myself. I'm Slumberjack, and joining me today is my DM. How we doing today?
Hey, Slumberjack, I am doing well, and it is good to come with you again. It has been probably a hot couple of months, but here we are on a Sunday afternoon with a little rando. We'll bring it to the people.
Yeah, I think the last time I comped was probably with you, actually, a good while back. I've been in Cross Keys territory for a while, so. But hey, let's talk about our runners. We've got Worldwide Wimpy, we've got Roach, we've got, I believe, Maui, and then Joss Bleedin representing today. So I already put their names into chat. Give them a follow. They're going to be putting on a good show for us today, and yeah, and then also I think we have a solo tracker today. Let's give a big shout out to Made Walk Herd for the work that they're going to be doing for us.
And our runners are off. We get a little divergence. We have a sword in the house and a 20 in the poor box at the sanctuary.
Feeling a lot better about the sword than I would the 20, but... Mad Ewok Herd. Okay.
And that was a crystal at Terra, and I didn't catch the other two. We are maybe a little fuzzy, and I was having trouble picking everything up on that map check that Wimpy gave us.
Yeah. I see Tree Pole is some good blue roops that we got going for us. So that's always nice to have.
Yeah, a little extra money bright and early. Get kind of sort of close to being able to buy your own bombs. Sometimes that's all the game wants from you.
Yeah, I find that's one of the hardest parts. Like, when I play casual boots versus, open, the one thing I'm always, stressing about is how am I going to get my bombs? And looks like I think that was 20 rupees on Lumberjack.
I believe you are correct. Also, we have a glove in the Uncle Tunnel, and it looks like Roach is going to go ahead and show us the front of Escape Maui as well. With that early
Makes sense
sword
to
in the
me.
house, go ahead and make use of it.
Got a weapon, just might as well dive right into there. Save Kakariko for a little bit later. Who needs Kakariko?
Yeah, Kakariko is Skip, everybody's favorite.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little easier to do in something like casual boots when you know you can get your access to a handful of bombs, and you've, of course, already got a sword because it's Kaz boots, so you can go other places and do other things.
Yeah, it's just, Kakariko just takes so much time. And to those who are watching this for the first time, maybe, you don't skip Kakariko. It's not a thing you actually do. we are poking fun.
It's a little more of a meme. There are some modes, as the aforementioned casual boots is one, where, you can try it if you want. There are ways that it can bail you out, but more often than not, the 15 items in Kakariko Village are going to have some things that you're actually looking for.
See, Roach and Maui neck and neck. Just barely a screen transition apart right now.
Yep, and Joss appears to be pulling bottles for days out of Kakariko Village. Wimpy following right along behind. Yeah, there were 3 bottles in Blind's old hideout. Green goo, and an empty.
Yeah, and Joss also getting, I think that was a fire rod and their own personal sword. Could have been
A
Ice
lot of early
Rod,
swords.
but yeah. Yeah, they're taking those bottles straight to the sick kid, where they belong.
Yep, hoping to find some bombs, not being bailed out with said bombs. Maybe the back of the tavern has better? Looks like we just had a map in Zelda's cell. Unfortunately, Roach and Maui not getting a whole lot of value out of that play into the front of the escape sequence.
Look, we all know where the bombs are going to be. They're going to be in the back of Chicken Hut, right behind the bombable wall. That's always where the bombs are in Kakariko. That's how Rando works,
bombs,
right?
Yep, bombs behind bomb locations. That's pretty common. Speaking of bomb locations, though, with that glove, and there were 3 bombs in that escape sequence. Both Roach and Maui going to show us the back of the escape sequence. Going to be thorough about this castle play.
Oh, nice. Also saves them a good 50 rupees. They don't have to buy bombs. Ooh. Good old Moon Pearl in the back there.
Yeah, Moon Pearl in the back there, also that small key, and it looks like both of them are going to go ahead and try to navigate in the dark here. This is not in logic, although it would be for Joss, who has found that fire rod.
Yeah, they don't know it's in logic yet. So technically it is, but for them, they just don't know it yet.
Yeah, illogical for them on their current equipment set, but there could very well be something here.
Yeah, they think they're breaking the rules, but they're playing within the lines.
Looks like Maui's having a little trouble, down about half of the total health pool at the moment, but both Maui and Root seem to be making their way on through.
Yeah, the snakes can get a little bit scary in the next room because I think they do half a heart per hit, right?
I believe you're correct.
Yeah. You can get a little spooky. Especially when you're trying to... Oh, wow. Nope, just perfectly found the chest without any help at all. I normally have to hold my sword out and just keep going up and down until I walk into the chest, but nope, Maui just nails it.
Yeah, more often than not, it's I have the sword out, I'm trying to find the chest, I'm getting bodied by snakes, and then I die, and I never find out what the item is. But no, that worked out really well for both Maui and Roach. 300 rupees is the prize.
Okay, and our tracker is confirming that the first rod that we found, it may just be the screen that I'm looking at, is a little blurry, was actually the ice rod, because Joss and Worldwide Wimpy have since found the fire rod as well.
Yeah, there was a second rod in the bombable portion of the back there in the well.
Oh, yep. Folks
So we've
starting to
got
get their master swords. That's good.
Yep, we've got Wimpy down to the dam already. Joss is still kicking around, kind of making his way in that direction.
Yeah, I didn't see where Joss got held up. I know Joss didn't do race game, but...
Yeah, I'm not sure where that gap came from either, because I felt like he was a couple of seconds ahead, and now he's very decidedly a handful of seconds behind.
Oh, is that the hook shot?
If it was, I missed it. I was looking away for a hot second there, but I'm sure that our
I believe
wonderful tracker
I
is
believe
going to catch
Worldwide
that.
Wimpy. Yeah, just picked up the hook shot. Right off the NPC in Mini Moldorm. Oh, okay. So Joss had to do some backtracking for some bombs, is what happened.
That would do it.
Thank you, chat, for keeping us accountable.
That's what we have all of the extra sets of eyes for, to make sure that we actually get all these things noted down.
to make sure that we're doing our job.
Yeah, Joss is going to give us a new check here. This Agina's Closet, just 20 bucks.
Agina this early is a power play. Like, I don't usually imagine people going this direction without the book or the boots, at least. Some way to get into the desert, but, you know, if something was there, that would have been, like, really cool.
Yeah, it's one of those plays, then, and I'm actually on this train a lot of the time, where I like to try to kind of full clear Spear 1 before I really set out into the wider world, so Dam to Agina is the way to not go about orphaning that otherwise kind of terrible location.
Yeah, see, and I'm on the opposite spectrum. I'm like, if Eastern Palace, Agina, and Zora are all that's left on the table, and I can clear Aga, I'm going to Aga. You know, Eastern Palace, that can wait. Ain't gonna dip that.
Yeah, and sometimes it works out, and sometimes, like this, it really does not. There is Joss pulling that hookshot off of the NPC in Mini Moldorm Cave, as we suspected.
All right. Everybody seems to be retracing everybody's steps so far. Did we already see an ice cave check?
No, Worldwide Wimpy staved and quit after the Mini
Yeah.
Moldorm Cave and headed for the castle, so Joss is once again going to be giving us a little new information here.
Yeah, that one I was curious about when I saw that save and quit. That's what I was asking about. I was like, wait, didn't they just save and quit there? Because this seems like a really easy, like, if you're gonna orphan this one, you're gonna orphan it forever, kind of thing. Or you could just route it in with Mini Moldorm. So yeah, Joss, what have we got in here, Joss? There's a piece of heart.
Yeah, so both of the terrible one-off locations not paying off today. Looks like Joss is going to walk back out though, so I think we may see a little fake flipperage here. Really just going to be a hobo play, not really in a position to pay off the Zor Lord. Has no Moon Pearl, so not going to be able to set a water walk out of the Waterfall Fairy either.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And not 500. Yeah, no 500 rupees, no Moon Pearl. Like, might be worth it just to do the hobo check and just save and quit there, just to get that out of the way and check out what's on, Hylia Island. But other than that, oh, another bottle. All right, Josh, you know where your fourth one is. You know what your end game is.
Yeah, Joss may be the first of our runners to complete bottle percent, or could be if he really wants to be anyway.
Oh,
Very
to our viewers,
nearly
if you get
sniped.
hit in the water while fake flippering, you die instantly.
Yep, that's just 5 out of logic rupees there on the old man under the bridge. Joss is going back to the house. Let's see what this becomes.
Yeah, I think that was a smart play to leave right there. When you can't do the waterfall cave even out of logic, you can't do Zora. Like you don't have Bow for Insilla. Yeah, just peace out at that point.
Yeah, there wasn't anything else to be gained from that play. Roach and Maui are onto that South Shore play now. They'll get the hook shot here momentarily. And Wimpy has cleared out the entirety of the escape sequence now and is also now following in Joss's footsteps a little bit, heading towards Eastern.
Do they talk to Saha? No. We don't need that information. We don't need to know where Green Pendant is. Definitely not our tracker nor us.
Full heart, piece of heart, lamp. Interesting, and not willing to make the play on in the Eastern Palace.
I think that's because Lamp might encourage them to go to Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, and it's entirely reasonable. Is going to find the glove here, and I don't know. Slumberjack,
Oh, they're
what do you
doing
think?
exactly what I would do, which is
If
I
you
get
get
the
the-
Lamp and Master Sword. I'm going to go straight to Aga at this point when all my checks are bad.
Oh no, he's remembered. Okay, I was beginning to wonder the lack of the play into the Uncle Tunnel. That would have been a little spicy, even for me.
A power we call them power plays here on speed gaming.
That would have been a very powerful play indeed. A powerful enough play to lose the match with, leaving that glove behind and playing Aga before you go up the mountain. Because that's the other thing that lamp is going to do, along with the glove and the hookshot, is going to give our runners a great deal of mountain access.
Yep, that's right.
But Wimpy is ready to bite the bullet.
Okay, so what Wimpy is actually doing is a power play, just skipping all of mountain.
Yeah, who needs those 10 logical checks up on the mountain and the sight check of whatever's on top of Spectacle Rock? No way is there a hammer up there or another glove to give me Dark World access, says Wimpy. I'm just gonna go ahead and kill Aga right now.
I mean, it's not the worst play either because, hookshot, fire rod, gloves, that gets you all the way to left side Dark World, which gives you the ability to do pretty much everything. Like, you could do Skull Woods, you can go through Thieves Town, missing one chest, you can loop all the way around to Hype Cave and stuff like that. It's not a bad play, but it is a play.
Yes, it is. It is definitely a power play. We will see if this works out for Wimpy, but Wimpy's going to be climbing this tower for the next 3 or 4 minutes. Maui's going to go ahead and follow along with this fake flipper to hobo play. Roach finding the lamp in Saha's closet appears to be walking. Nope, not going to walk back out, or is going to walk back out. All right, we may get some new information from Roach here. Apparently, we're going to see a play into Eastern Palace here.
Ooh.
It is a pendant dungeon, so maybe thinking, I don't want to clear this anyway, so I'll just go and find something like my hammer in here, and then I can go on my merry way.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Like, having it be a pendant means, like, you know, if it were a crystal, I'd want to try to save it for later when I have to do it eventually anyway. But when it's, like, one of those things, like, it's just 3 items I can potentially get. We have the lamp at this point, so 5 of the 6 chests in here are on logic. You know, there's 3 extra items in here that are all on logic, and then I'll never have to come back here.
Yeah, one of those situations where you're just kind of hoping to pull something out of there that maybe the opposition is not going to find in a timely manner.
Like those sweet 20 rupees in that first chest. Take that, opposition.
Yeah, I mean, that does get Roach 20 rupees closer to paying off the Zor Lord. That is in logic now with the glove.
Oh, true. I doubt they'll make use of it, but there is the rupee room in Eastern Palace that I've only seen like one runner ever make use of.
I have done that once on a restream in the dark, and I think the commentators kind of lost their minds for a hot minute. They
Yeah,
had no idea what was going on.
I could see that happening. You're like, what are they doing? Why the Eastern Palace rupee room? You have
What are these
gloves. You could
anti-fairies even for?
you could just do the hula hand glitch.
Yeah, we do have Wimpy working on Aga here. I think we may have had a blue ball already.
I think well 2 now. I only saw 1 so far. And by the way, the opposition has missed out on another sweet 20 rupees out of Eastern Palace.
Yeah, that's over 2 on Roach's side. 1 more check remaining. Bailed out or kind of hot and spicy play, we shall see. Speaking of seeing, Wimpy's now going to go ahead and show us what is on Pyramid Ledge. Joss is heading for the mountain, and Maui's already up there.
Yeah, Maui's already up there. Hasn't found anything just yet, but we up there.
Yeah, heading for the density now, though. You know, those couple of checks on the left-hand side, probably not what you're really worried about, but 7 checks in Paradox Cave, 1 more in Spiral, 8 chances to get something good.
And I mean, if they find the hammer up here, that also opens up... Oh. Well. Try again, Maui. We believe.
Yeah, mountain save and quit point, not too bad. You can hook back over there and get right back to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if either Joss or Maui find the hammer up here, that also opens up Tower of Hera, which is another 2 checks.
And that is one of our crystal dungeons, so, you know, all of our runners hoping that they're going to get that cleared out in a timely manner eventually. Just a question of when. Wimpy is about to give us a bumper cave check, has everything necessary to get the item if it's something good.
Nope. I mean, it's not bad, but you're not gonna spend, 45 seconds grabbing that heart.
Yeah, not at these runners' level of play for sure. 6 hearts green mail, maybe not the most comfortable thing in the Dark World, but you can get by.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on how comfortable you are with Mothula. All right, Paradox, what do you got for us?
Bomb sticks, hearts, bomb sticks. What is this? The
Ooh, dear.
Is this a feed hash for us? Because it certainly wasn't anything good.
Oh, chat is saying hammer. Did we just see a hammer on someone's screen while I was looking at Paradox?
Was Hammer maybe in the 2-chest portion of Paradox?
Oh. Looks like Aghanim was not the play then.
Well, we'll have to see what else Wimpy finds, because, if the mitts happen to show up somewhere around here and a mirror, he could chain all of those Dark Mountain checks together and at least get the efficiency play out of it.
Yeah, get some time back there. Basically looking for anything to make up for the time they spent hanging around with Aga. But yeah, there's the hammer play into to Tower of Hera, and what I'm curious about is, have you heard of there's like a new Hera pot strategy? Have you heard of Philipot before?
Absolutely, I have heard of Philipot. Philisty, one of the mentees in this year's Mentor tournament, discovered an alternate way to set up the Bomb Herapot, which has, I believe, 3 full pixels worth of horizontal slop for your sprite placement.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 5 pixels. It's like I refused to learn bootless Herapot for the longest time, and then I just tried it yesterday, like in my cross keys race, and like did it first try, no problem. I was like, oh my
It's
gosh,
super free.
yeah. So, viewers at home, don't leave the stream, but Google that at your leisure, because it's actually really easy to learn.
Speaking of leisure, Joss has decided that a little hydration break is in order here, while Maui is going to wait out all of these tiles with the sword. And there's no relaxing at all for Wimpy, who has this moth fight going on, and the moth fight appears to have been going on a little too hard.
Maybe should have spent the 45 seconds grabbing that one single heart. I'm not sure how far they got into the fight. It seemed like Mothia was stuck in the corner in a really bad place for a hot minute.
Uncooperative moth, who's surprised?
Just same old Mothula.
Looks like Joss is going to walk back out here. Maui is setting up the Death Warp.
I like Maui's play a little bit better, but... Oh.
Seems to have worked out fairly evenly. I think Joss was into the room a couple of seconds earlier and was heading up the tower a couple of seconds sooner, so yeah, may have been a wash.
Yep, and Roach doing the same thing, just taking that Death Warp. Come on, get that Mothula!
Wimpy's having a pretty good fight here, and indeed gets it.
Yeah, that one was super clean. Good job, Wimpy. Get those 300 roops.
Yep, getting paid, pulling down a pendant, unfortunately.
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna make the play that Aga was required, you might as well lean right into it and just clear everything that's in your path, hoping for either the mitts or the hammer.
Yep, committing to your plays is definitely a thing. And it's good to see Wimpy sticking to that play that he made.
All right, we got everybody else in the Moldorm fight right now.
One of the other uncooperative bosses, but it seems to have worked out okay for Joss.
Worked out well for Roach as well. Come on, Maui, 3 for 3. No Troll Dorm today. Yeah.
Alright, that is Crystal 1 for 3 of our 4 featured runners, Joss, Maui, and Roach, all picking up that Tower of Hera crystal.
We do see Worldwide Wimpy pick a medallion, and a bloomerang. That's neat.
Alright, that is an interesting route by Roach. Picked up the prize off of the boss there, and then jumped back down to finish making checks before coming back up and picking up the crystal.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I don't think I have either. Wimpy pulling the blue cane out of the brewery. So our other 3 runners are going to have some options here. Roach is going to have a look at that Dark World map check, and then this is probably going to be a Spike Cave play, while our other 2 runners opted for Spiral Cave instead, and are both now off the mountain. Joss heading for the good old-fashioned Johnny Two Bombs Speakeasy and Tripe Cave Emporium, while Maui appears to be heading for the village.
Yeah, and I did catch the 5-6 crystals. I think were Swamp Palace and Turtle Rock, and I believe all the pendants are all properly marked on our tracker. Again, a lot of work being done by our one tracker for 4 people. So just give them a shout out. How do I do that? Is it this button? Boop. Yeah. Give them a follow. Give them a shout out. Oh, was that a bug net in Hype Cave? 10 out of 10 Hype Cave.
The hypest of caves. How are you going to defeat Aghanim without him? Well, Wimpy will show you how. You just have to go back and watch the VOD.
Yeah, no idea how Wimpy got past Aghanim without that, but, you know.
Well, I have heard there are ways.
Something to do with a sword? I don't know.
Yeah, Wimpy is going to go ahead and keep showing us things in the back of Pendant Thieves Town here. Looks like Joss is headed for Dig Game. Let's see which direction Roach picks. With that hammer out, maybe we're going to see a play over towards Pyramid Pod.
Yeah, possibly. I'm curious about Maui's play right now, because we know it's a pendant. Maui's not looking for... Okay, and it was Quake, by the way. You got that right. Walk. Are we treating this like an overall check, or are they going to go for the clear?
Yeah, that is a really good question in this situation. Having seen it from Wimpy, we know that the other item's on the boss, so if you want 2 items out of Pendant Skull Woods, you have to go slay the moth.
Yeah, Skullwoods, it's one of those questions like, you know, we were talking earlier, like, do you or do you not dip Eastern Palace? Do you complete that entire Sphere 1 before making the commitment to go to Aghanim? Skullwoods is kind of like that for the Dark Worlds. Like, when do you do Skullwoods? Do you treat it like a dungeon? Do you treat it like it's an overall check that you loop in with North Dark World? So I'm always curious to see how people, like, route these dungeons and what they do with them.
Yeah, speaking of choices that our runners can make, Joss has discovered the flute here and is going to activate it. Does not give us any new checks at the moment.
But it plays a very pretty song.
It does that, and now Joss is going to be into the Dark World at the village portal. Wimpy is about to show us what is in the Maiden's Cell here. Seems to be getting a little bullied by this red Zazak, though. And Roach is going to carry this East Side Dark World play into Palace of Darkness with no bow.
Okay, we're getting back into power plays then. I like this. Let's get something good out of here.
Yep, have a couple of bottles that came with green goo in them to begin with. definitely still has one. I saw as he was quick swapping through his menu there, but never
Oh,
mind, there's a bow
jeez!
in the shooter room.
The power play! Let's get us a pod clear, yo.
Yeah, imagine going in there thinking, well, I'm just going to mimic Clip, or I'm going to potion camera unlock, and then finding the bow in the first chest.
Over on Worldwide Wimpy's side, almost a perfect script. Maybe a perfect script. That sword swing may have just that very last sword swing may have just come a tiny bit late. But pendant number 2, I'm starting to worry that Worldwide Wimpy might think this is a pet seed. But with no bow in sight for them yet, we should be safe from that for a little while.
Yeah, and I did notice on Wimpy's side that there was a small key in hand, and because Wimpy missed the hammer, that means there is an outlier check there in that big chest. Now, I was not counting items, I was watching the other 3 runners go in 3 other directions, so it might just be a dungeon item. Hopefully somebody can double check us on that.
Yeah, get on it, chat. Just kidding. I'm not forcing you to do anything.
That's what we have chat for, right? There are 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 72nd and 381st pairs of eyes.
Oh yeah. The other part of Pod that I forgot about is Pod is miserable to run if you don't have boots or the mirror. So the fact that Roach is in here at all is just even more of a play. It's just like having to very slowly walk through all of this.
Alright, there's the map on Joss's side. I remember that the big key was vanilla here, so I'm not sure about where the compass may or may not have been.
Do see Roach picking up the big key. Now it's a question if they gun straight for the boss or if they should gun for the boss, in my opinion. But we'll see where they go. Yeah, now that they've unlocked the front door, yeah.
Yeah, head straight for the boss, then you can go to the back afterwards and save and quit out, since you're not going to be close to anything else at all in this area. Makes a lot of sense.
No, okay. I was worried they were not going to open that chest for some reason. They were setting up for that bow shot, and I was like, oh no! Meanwhile, Worldwide Wimpy getting their bow, or not their bug net. Now they're good to go.
Yeah, you have it in plenty of time for Aga 2. That works out. Getting a bit of a hammer jump here over on Roach's side. Get a little bomb refund for the time and trouble spent making the play. With no mirror and the big key already, it does save you some time because you can just walk down through Harmless Hellway at the end of this route.
Yeah, and you only have to walk through Dark Maze once.
Speaking of walking through Dark Maze, Roach has discovered the Ether Medallion in there.
Worldwide Wimpy also getting that duck unstuck.
This may be the time for Wimpy's mountain play. You know,
Yeah, I think
off
that's
in favor of the power play up Aga Tower, and no, instead it's going to be a play over to Ice Rod Cave.
I mean, yeah, considering they save and quit out of Mini Moldrum earlier, like, this is going to be the time you're going to do it.
Okay, Wimpy did not actually leave anything behind in that big chest of thieves. Joss has just shown us that that was the compass's sleeping place.
Oof.
Interesting to see just how much commitment we're getting to these pendant dungeons from pretty much all of the runners aside from Roach who has been able to really stay out of the way of them thus far.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're going this deep into Thieves Town. I'm glad they didn't go too far into Skullwoods, the other two, but I can understand Wimpy doing it because Wimpy was leaning hard into the Aga play. But for these other two, check the first four, and then if you have to, maybe come back later. I forget how many checks were in the first four chests that were of actual use.
I think it was split 50-50, 2 front, 2 back.
Yeah, that's a case where I'd just be like, you know what? Just throw Thieves Town in the garbage. There's probably nothing there, but I can also understand people being like, if there is something there, that gives you a huge advantage.
Yeah, and with 2 items in the back plus the green pendant, you're going to be heading over towards Crystal Pod at some point eventually.
Worldwide Wimpy, why are you in Eastern Palace? You have the mountain.
I don't know, Wimpy seems to be pretty anti-mountain this seed. We'll have to ask him about it when all these runners have finished up and we can get him in here for an interview.
I just looked over, I'm like, they don't have the bow. They're probably recheck. They probably just realized this was not an Agaseed. What did I do wrong? Was the play to make Eastern Palace? That's what I'm thinking right now. Is it must have been the worst thing possible, and they're probably trying to make up for lost ground at this point.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, we have seen this from another runner already. We know that it's really just money and nothing else. There's an item on the boss that you can't get to without the bow, which is in the other Eastern Bow dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, Roach has now finished that out. Find some bombs on Helmsaur King. Going to be the first of our runners to put a second crystal on the board.
Yeah, chat saying he wants the ped. I think for them to win this race, it being a ped seed would be a huge boon, even though they can't even clear this dungeon right now.
Alright, Joss is going to wander around in the front of Skullwoods here for a little while. Maui is getting a little bullied by Blind, but pulls out the blue cane. This is how you make Phase 3 free and easy. Just turn on the invincibility item and go to town.
Yep, just give Blind a good old hug.
And Roach is going to walk out from Palace of Darkness. I would have to think this is probably a play to Catfish.
Pyramid Ledge and Cap? Nope, just Catfish.
I think he checked Pyramid Ledge before heading
Oh.
into Palace of Darkness, which makes a lot of sense if you're looking for a bow still.
Yep. Saha just giving us a piece of heart.
Green Pendant not paying out, Thieves Town not paying out. I mean, at least with that Quake Medallion in Skull Woods, we can't say for certain yet that pendants have been entirely valueless to us this seed, but so far it has not really worked out for any runner that's chosen to go into a pendant dungeon.
Yeah. Alright, Catfish. What do you got for us? Show us something new. Oh!
I'm having a little deja vu. I just got done playing a seed that had flippers on Catfish, and here we go again.
Roach is just making, play after play. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, it's definitely working out. Now is going to take those flippers immediately and go do flipper checks. Says, well, I got an item that gives me a logical chain of access. Let's go see what's what out here.
Yeah, the biggest problem I see here is they have 45 rupees. So they're gonna have to miss one.
Imagine being able to pay off the Scam Master.
Hmm. What, you mean I can't spend 500 rupees to get my single arrow? Aw, dang. Oh, where it says 845? Oh. My display is just wonky. If they have 845, then yes, this is all correct. Good job, Roach.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a little pixelization there as well. I mean, it could be an 8, but it looks just like the 0 next to it.
And going back to what you were talking about earlier about committing to these pendant plays, Joss is deep in there in Skullwoods, going full ham. We're going to be seeing another Mothio fight pretty soon to get those sweet, sweet 300 roops.
Also, while we seem to have missed it about a minute ago, welcome to our Raiders from Speed Gaming 3, a party of 42. You are joining in progress the Speed Gaming Daily Series, the Link to the Past Randomizer Sunday Open.
Oh, homemade beer. Do you want to know where the bow was? It was the first chest of pod. Where it belongs. Also, we didn't see it because we were in the middle of a raid, but mitts were on Waterfall.
Yeah, of course they were. Roach just making the calls. Going to crack the seed wide open once he actually makes his way over to Stumpy and finds that flute.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hot minute before anyone else finds that bow, I think. Joss. Yes, thank you. Okay, I was worried for a second there.
Yep, a wise choice, that green potion, and the safety of the cape does get the job done, if ever so nearly. Maui also getting the disappointment of the Saha green pendant turn in there.
Let's see, what else do we got going on? Where is Roach going is what I want to know. Blacksmith chain, maybe, with the mitts? They never
Yeah,
found the flute.
Yeah, Roach needs to make the trek down to Stumpy, and unfortunately there are a couple of pendant dungeons that may be singing the siren song to him at the moment.
Oh, I hope not. All of our other runners seem to be covering each other's tracks, and they're all going to Eastern Palace without that bow in the front of pod.
Ah, no, Joss has other plans. Going to flute away, has the hammer already selected, and no, we're going to see a pod play here.
Yeah, Joss! Go get your bow.
Definitely a runner that knows the potion camera unlock setup, still has a green goo in the bank, I think, but is going to be bailed out with that bow and is not going to have to perform tech for us today. Roach does appear to be avoiding the actual pendant dungeons, is clearing out these overworld locations instead.
Good job. What was it? It was just ether and pod that we found? Was that the only important thing we found in there other than the bow?
Bow and ether, I think, was it.
Yeah.
And the bow, for sure, a pretty big thing, and need it to clear out that crystal dungeon after all. The ether medallion, a bit more of an open question, and Roach is the closest of our runners to being able to tell us whether or not that's actually meaningful.
Roach, if you go all the way in, Roach, it's the end of your power plays.
Yeah, Roach could go all the way, but as the runner who actually has the mitts, there are a lot of other options. I would be very hard pressed to go into the back of Thieves Town when I could, say, go up the mountain and wipe out 6 checks on Dark Mountain instead.
Yeah, and with the mitts, it's so easy to come back here. Like, you do the first 4 checks, like, that's understandable because, like, it's boom, 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 boom. But you do the back half of it, like, just come back and do it later. Like, not a big deal. It's a pendant dungeon. You don't want to be back there if you don't have to be. If it comes down to it, you got the mitts. They don't have the flute yet, but they can still just come back here with the mitts. Like, super easy. No problem.
Yep, and there's Wimpy putting his first crystal of the match up on the board, has taken out Moldworm in the Tower of Hera.
I think we're getting... Is this our first Spike Cave check?
No, Roach did this out of Hera, I believe.
Okay. Really? Instead of doing Spiral?
Yeah, the other 2 did Spiral, Roach picked Spike.
Interesting.
Alright, let's see where Wimpy is going to try and carry this play.
I just noticed that Maui's doing a out of logic flipper check here, about to get their mitts.
That's interesting. That can be really dangerous to sequence break the flippers when Swamp Palace is a crystal, especially when the flippers wind up in a terrible out of the way check like Catfish. How do you get there from here, especially when you're now going to check the entire Zora area out of sequence?
Yep. They also have the flute, so that opens up at least the Myra area.
Yeah, Maui is going to be another one of those runners who can start showing us new things. Wimpy also appears to be on the scent of the bow now, is going to head on into the front of the Palace of Darkness.
Gosh, yeah, the bow and the flipper placement this seed. Both awful. Mmm.
Well, at least we found both rods early, so it's not an ice rod hunt. There are just other ways that the seed is going to toy with our runners' hearts.
I don't know. We got Desert Palace, being a crystal. You know, boots on ped or something like that.
Nah, boots on ped wouldn't be the rarest thing ever.
Nope.
And if it's ped, Wimpy and Joss are in pretty good position, having done both Skullwoods and Thieves Town.
Oh, Maui. Almost.
That clip is not as easy as a lot of runners make it look.
Yeah, I think it took me like a couple months before I was like comfortable just like doing it without thinking. But for those first many weeks, you know, I just beef it like half the time.
Yep, you're just standing there looking at the block saying, well, I guess it's the stairs for me. Again. And Roach did commit to that full clear of Green Pendant Thieves. With the mitts in hand, that's a little surprising, but giving some time back to our other runners here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a question of when they're going to actually redeem that green pendant. Like, are they going to save it for, like, when they're... Like, we know that nothing's on Saha, but... You know, what's the value of grabbing that green pendant?
Yeah,
When you've already cleared out Pod and Eastern Palace is kind of, like, ugly as it is.
Yeah, and Roach was the very first of the runners to make the Eastern Palace play, so, knows that there's one item left over on the Armos Knights, but, two items over in the entire eastern side of the world, it's kind of tough to be drawn back in that direction.
Heart
And
of Rock
Joss
was
is.
ether, apparently.
Ooh, well, that's interesting. Let's see, we'll have to try and catch Meyer because Maui is heading in that direction now.
All right, Mr. Meyer, what are you? How do we get inside? We'll never know, apparently, because the murder bird. Oh, there we go. I think it was Quake.
It was in fact Quake, so that dip into the front of Skullwood's at least absolutely required for our runners. Now, the kill of Mothula, maybe not so much. And before we started getting new information there, I was about to say that Joss has made the play that we were speculating about when Roach was in Palace of Darkness, went ahead and rushed the boss, and then is going to the back. That's going to make it a little difficult for Joss to find those flippers on Catfish, because this is not a situation where you're really considering walking out of pod. This is going to be a save and quit.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, and I can see that as well because you would want to save Catfish for later when you get like flippers. You can route it in with Zora, or you could route in North Dark World with Mirror and stuff like that. So, yep, there's that save and quit.
Yep, and there's Maui now on the track towards the Palace of Darkness. Knows that Ether is required, gonna find it in here. Knows the bow is required, gonna find that in here too. But here we may get some new information from Joss, who is now dipping Eastern Palace for the first time.
Roach going for the hammer strats on Mothula. I appreciate this.
Hammer does tempered sword damage, does quite a bit to the moth. You only need 4 solid hammer connections to make this work, but the arena's still going to work against you while you try to get that done.
I just like when that energy is brought to the table. It's like, I have Fire Rod, but I'm gonna hammer this moth.
Yeah, I like Hammer Moth. Hammer Moth is fun.
Oh, geez, Roach.
Well, we have a bit of an uh-oh situation here. I believe Roach is now in Oko.
Come on, Roach, I believe. Yeah, I believed. Take your $300 and get out of here.
Yeah, I do find it interesting that Maui was the one to give us all that new information. We were kind of thinking it was going to be Roach, but Roach still missing that flute at this late date.
Yeah, I'm still surprised that because is Flute on Stumpy?
Flute's on Stumpy.
They just need to walk down to maybe now they're about to do Hype Cave and Stumpy. No.
No, I think this is Ice Palace. Or Eastern, maybe?
I think it's Eastern. I think they're also starting to think it's a Ped Seed. It could be. It could be a Ped Seed.
Yeah, absolutely still possible. Both Mirror and Cane of Samaria could absolutely still show up there.
But why wouldn't they do Ice Palace? Like, Ice Palace is in Logic right now, right?
You avoid it like the plague because you have no Cane of Samaria. And who wants to do the Ice Palace bomb jump anymore? LOLOL.
The dreaded Ice Palace bomb jump.
That hot new tech circa 2017, or probably even earlier.
I mean, I'm always a fan of ped plays. Anybody anybody who ever watches me stream an open race, I'm always like, this is a ped seed, and they just go for it, and it never pays off. But in this case, you should definitely be in ice. Like, always be clearing dungeons. Go to Ice Palace. Don't be here in Eastern.
Yeah, particularly for Roach, who already got 2 of the 3 items here, and this is just a boss rush for the 3rd one. At least for Joss, this was 3 item stints. And of course, Joss has not found the flippers or fake flippered for those mitts, so, kind of running low on locations there, and Catfish, of course, is a terrible location that no runner actually wants to check.
Except for Worldwide Wimpy, who is going to go check it right now.
Yeah, Wimpy going to probably be a little displeased by having to go to this location, but, going to be happy with the end result.
Does Joss... Joss? Yeah, Joss must have Burner, right? They have Quake. Which was, like, in a house right next to it.
I'm reasonably certain the answer is yes. But sooner or later, Quick Swap will show us, and wow, it was $20 all the way down in Eastern, but Joss is the first of our runners who could pull Ped if he really wants to.
Chat is asking, where did Roach miss Flute? Roach just has not done South Dark World yet.
Yep, did Hype Cave on up into Pod, got bailed out with that bow in the first chest shooter room of Pod, and has just kind of avoided Dig Game and Stumpy.
Ooh, going for the other... almost had it. Going for the other quick kill on Armos Knights.
Here you go, chat. It's your favorite time. Go ahead and get hyped now, because Joss is going to be there in a good 10 seconds.
Oh, here we go.
He is, in fact, doing the thing.
Blind pull. Come on,
Was
Josh.
it in fact
Show
a
us a
pet
treat.
It's the best, the one, the only.
Oh,
Mirror
no!
on pedestal.
No. Joss just blew ahead. Mirror.
All right, Joss, what are you going to do with that? Because that's not going to bring you any closer to Catfish. That is an advantage that Joss holds temporarily.
Yeah, because Roach is right there.
Roach is going to get it, but Roach is missing a different piece of the puzzle. And
Oh,
the
right.
other two
Yeah,
runners
Stumpy puzzle. Yep.
Yeah, the other 2 runners are not in a position to make that ped play yet. Now, Roach's position, I think, is a little better because once you have the mirror, something like K45 along with Dig Game and Stumpy is a better position to be in than Catfish.
Oh, good call.
Yeah, Roach has more reasons to be going in that direction than Joss has to be going in the direction that he needs to go.
Yeah. It's the flippers versus the flute, basically, that's making the difference between them and how that's influencing their directions.
Now, if Joss is going to go up here and show us Graveyard Ledge, there are a couple of different techs. He could Splash Delete, or he could Kern Jump and head right on over to that Catfish. But if he doesn't do it now, it is 100% orphaned. There is nothing else to come this way for until and unless, I guess, you get boots and want to do King's Tomb.
Yeah. I don't know their
the boss here in Pod, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know their comfortability with like Kern Jump. Like I'm off at Kern Jump. I get it like 1 out of 4 times maybe. You know, it's not an easy trick, to say the least.
Alright, we have 20 bucks in Graveyard Ledge. That's not going to do the trick. And Joss is getting back into the Dark World here, with nothing else in the area would need to be fluting away. Rather than kind of walking back to the village, you were in the Light World. Really easy to get back there via the flute.
Turn jump.
This looks like a little current jump action.
Mm-hmm.
Maui putting that pod crystal up on the board.
Wait. Oh. They might be forgetting that hookshot only goes one way.
That's unfortunately possible. And yeah, we're going to get the error.
Yeah.
But at least we know that Catfish is on Joss's mind, because otherwise you wouldn't have tried to make the play in this direction to begin with. But it seems like he's going to go ahead and put that off a while longer yet.
Meanwhile, over on Worldwide Wimpy's screen, we're in Mire.
Yep, it is time to make that play into Mire without the Cane of Samaria. It's really starting to feel like the next actual piece of the puzzle is going to be in Swamp Palace, more likely than not.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. You know, mirror, flippers, hammer, hookshot, all on logic right now. Like, Swamp's the next play. It's a crystal dungeon as well. Like, that's where we would like to see our runners be, given what we know. But, again, it's those missing pieces.
And Maui appears to be heading to Pyramid. We may get a Catfish play after that to put those mitts that Maui has back into logic.
Actually, why is Joss not in Swamp Palace right now?
I think he was following the... Well, Joss is not in Swamp Palace because he has no flippers.
Oh, yep. That would do it.
Now, he may do the same thing I did and think about that for a hot second and try and jump in, but it's not going to work out very well if he does.
Right. So the question then is, why is Roach not in Swamp Palace right now? Because Roach doesn't need the flute to get into Swamp Palace. Roach has everything to fully clear that dungeon out.
Yeah, I do feel like Roach, at the end of the day, has been trying to be really thorough about this. You know, we got the full Skull Woods clear, we got that full Thieves Town clear. So this may simply be a choice of, I'm just going to clear the whole thing, and as long as I can do it faster than my opponents, I'm in pretty good shape.
Yeah. Because what is Roach missing at this point? Like, they're missing Samaria?
Samaria and Flute, which Roach is going to stumble right over on this route, I think.
Yeah, okay. Because after that, like, you just blaze through Ice Palace, you blaze through, you know, once you have the Samaria. Once we figure out where that is, you got your Mr. Mire, you got your Turtle Rock, you got Swamp Palace, and you got your Desert Palace, and you're done.
And there is Joss's Out of Logic Glove. Has one bomb for that.
So all the folks... Oh, I guess it's just Joss who doesn't have the flippers at this point. So Joss must know the flippers are somewhere very accessible at this point.
Yeah, there's very little reason to try and sequence break ice in a situation like this. Now, some runners will do it anyway. You think, well, you know, I'm just going to find the flippers out in the world, but let me go ahead and get the items out of ice because I do need to find the red cane as well.
Chat pointing out.
the boots. I was trying to get there, and then we got kind of sidetracked down a different side of the conversation. But yes, the boots could still be logically required, or even actually required in Desert Palace.
What do you mean? I mentioned that like an hour ago. How could we forget? In that short amount of time.
Speaking of the play into ice, it is logical for Maui, and Maui is in there, has already opened the first chest. The play into Mire is kind of interesting for Joss. Cannot find the flippers here, obviously, with those flipper-locked mitts, but could find Samaria. We know
Nope.
thanks to...
Found the 20 rupees.
Yeah, we know thanks to Wimpy that it was not going to be in the Mire Shack.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is our logical access to desert, then we're not going to find the flippers here either.
I mean, we already know logical access to desert, because of the mirror placement and flute.
Yeah, it's more a question of whether or not the book might have been hiding out there in the wild somewhere yet, but it's
Oh, gotcha.
becoming more and more unlikely. And we are boots locked in desert. Our runners are going to be searching for that fashionable footwear as well.
Welp! You called it.
Wimpy seems to have sussed out the fact that we are going to have to make the play through Eastern Palace as well here. When it doesn't turn up going to be able to pull the pedestal, we'll become the third of our runners to gain access to that mirror.
Which is still impressive. Well, maybe this ended up working out well for them because they did the Aga play before doing Eastern Palace. Oh, no, they did Eastern Palace already. Never mind. I'm just seeing that empty chest there. I'm like, oh, that's right. They came back here way after the fact, trying to assess out why this wasn't an Aga seed.
Yep, and Roach has pulled bombos from the first chest in Swamp Palace. Now, we've got some interesting things going on here. Ice and swamp action over there on the right-hand side. Doesn't look like Maui has found a whole lot in here so far. Of course, with no Cane of Samaria, you can't Icebreaker, so we're still looking for quite a few of the checks in Ice Palace.
Just making our way around.
Yeah, looping around in a more or less vanilla fashion.
Worldwide Wimpy doing Eastern Palace boss fight. Do they get the... Oh, they didn't get the script, I don't think. Oh, maybe they did. No, they didn't.
Yeah, I got the third arrow into the wrong Armos Knight, I think.
It happens to all of us.
Yeah, Joss sees the Turtle Rock as Ether. We had already seen that on Maui's side. The difference is Joss had Ether before he got up there, so he's going to go ahead and open it. Will not be able to go in without the handy-dandy Cane of Samaria.
Yes, and chat is asking, is Pet in play? Oh boy.
Yeah,
It's
have
in
we got
play.
a seed for you? It's in play, all right. In fact, it is the play.
Have we seen anything out of Swamp Palace or Ice Palace yet? Like, I'm watching these, like, as close as I can. I haven't seen anything, though.
Yeah, we saw the Bombos Medallion, which we know is useless to us in the first chest of Swamp, and between the two of them, I think that's it so far. Cane and Icebreaker chest, maybe? Nope, that's just a compass.
Can't have too much excitement in one seed. You know, you get the mirror off the ped. Why would they give us some Mario and Icebreaker?
Left side Swamp paying out in 50 bucks, and... half magic.
Oh, I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah, not a bad safety, but definitely not one of those things that our runners still need to finish the seed off with.
Speaking of half magic, I think Joss would really appreciate it right now, so they didn't have to burn that red potion to do Spike Cave.
Yeah, would have been a nice one to have there. going to have to go for hook shot and a little cape instead, I think. Wimpy is going to follow Roach's footsteps on into Swamp here. Maui is heading for Cold Stare. After a brief stop off over here for a little refill.
I'm trying to think, where could progression be at this point? Is it going to be a mirror check, like K45 or something? No, people have done K45.
Well, yeah, Roach had to have done K45 because he went through that loop and got the flute.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be looking at Cold Stare. I think Maui has found everything but the final item. We could be in the back of Swamp, although we're starting to run low on locations there as well, because there were 2 items on the left side.
Bonk Rocks would be swell, chat, if we had some boots.
Gonna need to find those boots.
Right, that's what we're trying to... Where are the boots? Or Samaria. I like, someone in chat earlier said it's probably going to be boots somewhere in Turtle Rock, and I believe that. Like, we're going to find Samaria, we're going to have to go in Turtle Rock to get the boots to go back down to the desert.
That sounds very appropriately rando to me. Would not be
Yeah.
surprised.
Well, it's not Cold Stare.
Yeah, it's another crystal in play for Maui, but Maui's a bit behind the 8 ball, having cleared neither Skull Woods nor Eastern Palace. Now, there should also be an item on Argus here. I believe we've seen both map and compass at this point.
Yeah. Let's see what we get.
What we get is Roach being a little bullied by the R guy in Phase 1 there, down to 4 hearts now. We're still on green mail at this late date, after all these checks our runners have made.
Yeah, Argus, typically not a hard fight, but if you're in green mail, he does hit surprisingly hard in green mail. Like, he does a little bit of chonks here and there.
Yeah, even the puffs are 2 full hearts of damage on green mail. You can lose a good chunk of those fairly quickly if you're not. Oh!
Speaking of which,
Speaking of not being careful enough, standing right under the falling Argus is not where you want to be. We're not going to find out just yet whether or not Argus has an item our runners are looking for.
yeah, it's super easy for, like, Argus. Like, you don't think of him as a high damaging boss, because you think of, like, Cold Stare, who chunks you for, like, 4 or 5 hearts kind of thing. But Argus, like, a couple quick hits and, you know, if you're not paying attention, you know, a single drop down, as we just saw, is enough to take you out.
Yep, it is a dangerous place to be sometimes. Roach gonna make the trek back down to the boss here. Wimpy pulling that half magic out of the Vanilla Big Key location. And I think Joss is about out of possible checks, so this will be Pyramid and then Catfish, which is going to open up things that he actually needs to try and succeed. Of course, he's in a bit of a tight spot versus the people who have found those flippers in the mirror for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Maui is onto the Smith chain here. We've seen it from, I believe, both Roach and Joss, but I'm not sure if Wimpy has done that, but it didn't really pay out in anything, unfortunately.
No. Like, I really can't think of anywhere else they can go other than, like, it must be Argus boss? Is there anything none of them have done that they can logically do?
I don't think there is. I'm pretty sure we have to see something here. Couple of more Argus puffs to go.
We have already seen Meyer full
Yeah,
cleared.
Worldwide Wimpy went into Caneless Mire, so we have seen everything but the boss there. There we are, Argus down for Roach. Let's see, what was the answer? There's Caneless Samaria.
Yep, Cane of Samaria. Yep. All right, we narrowed it down. So it's going to be Cane of Samaria, probably into Turtle Rock to get your boots. Oh, was it CS Tutor who called that out earlier? Yeah. I think that's what we're looking at, folks.
Alright, but Roach has saved and quit to the Sanctuary. This is decidedly a choice.
Yeah, where are
Has he
they?
not turned on the flute yet, maybe?
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because they got the flute routing the purple chest, and then they went into swamp.
Yep, that would do it. There's Wimpy picking up the Cane of Samaria as well. Probably not the happiest to see that, given the earlier play into Mire. We may see an immediate run right back, that salty run back to the dungeon that he could not clear before.
I just want to point out, like, how neck and neck Roach and Worldwide Wimpy are right now, maybe? Like, between, like, the screen transition from finishing the boss and then Roach just having to activate Flute. Like, they are now right behind each other.
Yep, they are both in solid position right now. Joss is about a dungeon behind here, going to have to go find that Cane of Samaria. Now, Wimpy does have another advantage in that he already has the big key and everything but the boss done in Misery Mire.
Mm-hmm.
So it's maybe not quite as close as it first appears.
Yeah, it probably would have been a little bit closer if it hadn't been for the one death on Argus.
Yeah, let's see. Maui is heading over to the desert area, gonna spy the ledge. Ah, apparently it's the casual hour and 17-minute Agina check.
Also, thank you, Worldwide Wimpy, for not saving and quitting right there. They remembered they had the mirror and they could just leave that way when they realized it was boot locked.
Yeah, I suspect that we're going... Oh, well, maybe we're just going to see a mountain play. Now, I will admit that I was not counting items closely enough. Wimpy may have already seen both items in Mire and is hoping to be a little better equipped for the cold... Not the cold stare, the Vitreous skill. Thinking cold stare because Wimpy instead has fluted to 8 and is heading for Ice Palace.
That makes sense to me. You know, if you haven't done it yet, I would rather do Ice Palace before Turtle Rock, even though spiritually I would know that boots are probably in Turtle Rock. They could be in Ice Palace. This could be the correct play.
Yeah, you hope to keep it down to one final mountain climb, although in this case we know indeed that that will not be the case for our runners.
Yes, spiritually. I know in my heart that boots are probably going to be in Turtle Rock where they belong. Let's see.
Hey, we have Maui making this caneless play into Mire, unfortunately.
Yeah. I was just double checking. I was like, have they cleared Swamp Palace yet? But they don't have the mirror yet because they're still a few pendants short.
Yep, that early greed on the part of some of these runners in clearing out more pendant dungeons than one might at first have suspected was necessary has really paid dividends today.
I was talking about power plays earlier, and this was the seed for power plays. It was the correct choice. I would have lost.
Speaking of power plays, we have Speed Gaming coming in hot, a raid of 54. Welcome, welcome. You are joining in progress the Link to the Past Randomizer Daily Race Series. This is our Sunday Open. You are joining a PED seed in progress. One of our runners has killed Aghanim, although that was not required, and we are still looking for boots for Go mode.
Let's be real. We all know boots. It's gonna be either Laser Bridge or Trinex. It's gotta be, or it's gonna be the cheesy like first chest of Turtle Rock where you go in and the very first thing you check. It's gonna be the boots.
Yep, entirely possible. But hey, at least it's not ice rod in its vacation home again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at this point, we have most of our runners just kind of, going over each other's tracks. It's really just a matter of, like, who goes to Turtle Rock first, or who gets there first.
At this point, it feels like it will probably be Wimpy, but, there are no guarantees just yet. The Green Male Master Sword Cold Stare fight is not the kindest thing in the world.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Cold Stare hits hard. So if you're not super careful with your magic management, I mean, they have half magic at the very least, so that's going to be a big boon, but, you goof the opener for the fight, that could be problems for you.
But, as we do have all of our runners making checks that other runners have already made, and we are an hour and 20 minutes into this thing already, goodness, it doesn't feel like it's been quite that long. This is a good time to remind you, if you've been enjoying the show that these runners have been putting on, to give them a follow. Worldwide Wimpy, Roach, Joss Pleadin, Maui, all putting on the show for your enjoyment on this Sunday afternoon. We'll kind of round the thing out, saying I am Mind DM. Joining me on the comms today is Slumberjack, my good buddy. Mad Ewok Herd pushing all of the buttons, every single one. One person tracking the 4-player restream today.
Yeah, big props to our tracker who is handling all 4 streamers at the same time and I don't think they've made a single mistake. I think they've done perfectly. So, mad props to Maid Walkherd. Maid Ewok who knows? No, shh. No mistakes. No mistakes have been made.
We have Joss going back into Swamp Palace here. I think what happened was got the big key but did not want to go back up for it and is now going to go ahead and check it since he knows that it's still an item there.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I mean, I did see other runners have it already opened. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened.
It was in the diver down room, so you had to go back up the glitched staircase with no boots to make the glitched staircase not eat you. So I can understand just, kind of making the quick walk back afterwards instead.
Yeah. Yeah, it can go either way.
Maui is now back in the Skull Woods area. Appears to be heading for the back. I believe Maui cleared the front and the middle of this relatively early, so this will be a play likely to the boss. Unfortunately, this is not a position where you get to check pedestal because, well, that's where the mirror is.
Yeah. I mean, at least Maui's in the right place. for moving forward, as long as they go and actually kill the moth.
Joss is going to use that stun prize to life back up, going to go ahead and make this ice play, trying to follow just as quickly as possible along behind Wimpy and Roach. Wimpy is now in the middle of the Smith sequence, does not want to bite on that TR play.
Yeah, that's interesting because like they can go do Misery Mire right now. They have all the medallions, so there's like even if they hadn't checked it out, they could just go and do it. And then also, yeah, the TR play would probably come afterwards.
There is Crystal 5 on the board for Roach. Yes, we do have all dungeons in play today. We're going to have seen at least the one Aga kill, so we can call it all dungeons, even though technically that was not a requirement. Or no, rather 4 for Roach. Yeah, because Desert is boots locked. That's right. I was looking at that and thinking, why have I miscounted? That's why I've miscounted.
I'm just waiting for one of these runners to accept the dark, dark truth that you have to go into Turtle Rock.
And it seems that Roach has invited that truth right into his heart. Back up on the mountain at last.
Did Roach ever dip Misery Mire?
I do not believe so, in point of fact. But we know that Maui did without the cane. We know that Wimpy did without the cane. But I don't think Roach went there.
I don't disagree with this play. Like, assuming Roach hadn't gone into Misery Mire. Because Misery Mire only has, like, 2 items. So, and it's a pretty long dungeon for 2 items.
And you know that you've already got everything that you need to clear TR, and TR is one of the less go-modable. So if you're not really worried about, having to make one additional mountain climb, which is time that you could bleed in some cases.
Yeah. It's a time to climb the mountain versus time to full clear Misery Mire that you're wagering here.
Meanwhile, Wimpy doesn't seem to be willing to wager anything, is being very thorough about clearing the lower world before summoning up this duck and heading for the mountain.
All right, now we've got some mountain. Now we've got some Turtle Rock plays. Oh wait, no, never mind. Bye, Turtle Rock.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why this makes even more sense for Roach. Still has these 6 kind of ancillary dark mountain checks before going into TR. So many places where those boots could have been hidden away. Versus just 2 in Misery Mire. I still feel like, personally, I would have done Mire first in the situation of Roach, where then I could just make the single mountain climb, but I don't know. There's something to be said for having a little better equipment for Vitreous, but there's something to be said for having a little better equipment for Trinex, too.
Yeah, I mean, I would have also personally done Mire, but I also like this is probably the smarter play because you could risk Mire having exactly what you need so that you get the boots and then you can mirror, do desert, be done with it, and only have the one mountain climb. But just realistically, I'm also looking at like again, boots they've got to be in here. Good old Turtle Rock.
Speaking of letting that cold stare opener get away from you, that got away from Joss quite quickly, but half magic fire rod gets the job done.
Nice work, Joss.
So here we are. Roach is going to be the one in TR, going to try to show us what's actually going on in the seed.
Good early, big key. That's good.
It's one of those things that's nicer to find when you're actually trying to go mode the dungeon. When you're still looking for something, it doesn't matter quite so much because you're likely to be checking that lava chest anyway.
Yeah, you still got to do lava chest. But if boots are right here... No. All right, yeah, we're going to be checking lava chest.
Well, Joss has no time for this mountain climb thing. Going to be the first of our runners to actually clear Misery Mire. Had a couple of caneless plays in here by Maui and Worldwide Wimpy. Joss, the first of our runners to actually bring the big red cane, that trick stick that cracks the Dark World right in half, into its vanilla dungeon.
Oh, Roach, the chain chomps. Got chomped.
Those chain chomps are often hungry and on green mail like so many things in the Dark World, particularly as you delve deeper into it, they do quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, they do the second most damage, I believe, in the game, next to literally just walking into Ganon. Like, they hurt. Like, I know in blue mail they do 3 hearts, and I think it's 5 hearts in green mail.
At least he got through the room and had actually managed to get the chest the first time, so all Roach has to do is walk through the second time.
Oh, yes, and as chat points out, the slugs also hurt really hard for no reason whatsoever. They are just unfair. Like, why do they hurt so much? Chain chomps, I can get. Like, they bite you. They hurt. Slugs, it's just like, oh, I took 4 hearts of damage.
And Roach just got lasered and pokey bounced, and all sorts of terrible things happened all at once. Roach is going to be sent back to the beginning of Turtle Rock again.
Oh, Roach. I believe in you, Roach. You've got this.
Maui has finally managed to sniff out that PED location, has the mirror. Going to go check out Checkerboard Cave, which we know is not the answer. You need to take that mirror into Swamp. And surprise, surprise, the boots in the lava chest.
Oh.
The hottest new fashion this season.
Oh. Ba-dum-bum. Alright, well, that's go mode, right?
That is indeed go mode for Worldwide Wimpy at 1 hour and 32 minutes.
Who could have guessed that Boots would be in TR? Definitely not chat. Which chat guessed it like an hour ago. And Worldwide Wimpy seems to know it. Wants a fairy, but seems to know it by skipping the outside checks. Which is not... It's not too risky, because it would be risky if there were keys on both Lava Chest and the big chest. But we already have the big key, so we should be safe.
And there is Joss done with Vitreous. That is one extra dungeon in his favor.
Well, I said that, and then Worldwide Wimpy has to go back outside to get a key.
Yep, it's one of those unfortunate layouts. So both Wimpy and Roach having their own difficulties in this dungeon.
Yeah, but at least Roach made the play to do the outside first.
Roach is also going to check Mimic Cave here. This is interesting. It could theoretically reward him with a sword.
Oh.
Maybe also a mail upgrade tucked away in here, theoretically.
Yeah, what do we got in here? Oh, perfect. A mushroom. That's going to help against Ganon.
Yeah, things we don't know anything about. Why not just take the fruit over to the witches? I mean, you've got the flute, you've got all those bottles. Maybe you feel like you want to fill up before you make that final climb up Ganon's tower. Why not turn the mushroom in really quick?
Oh no, I'm just gonna equip the mushroom and then just like spam it while fighting Ganon to get the error noise. Maybe that will help.
Try to
But no.
irritate Ganon to death? It
Yeah,
could work.
exactly. Turn it into the witch. No, this is my mushroom now. Oh yeah, that's true. Fake powder. How can we fake powder now? If we were to give it to the witch. Witch
That would
doesn't
be a
know what's best for
particularly
us.
time-consuming play. With half magic and topped back up after the fight with Trinex, that it would take you a little while to burn all that magic down.
Worldwide Wimpy, full clearing laser bridge, even after having the small key. Again, probably just looking for that sword. You know, you want that sword at this point because that speeds up the Ganon fight so much. It doesn't hurt to check a couple more chests for a couple seconds.
It speeds up the Trinex fight too. The Hammer Trinex is maybe not the easiest fight in the world. But Wimpy's gonna show it off. He's got 3 full hits in already, 4, 5. Going
That
to have
should
some
be
ice
it.
sprayed on the ground, but that'll do for the Firehead.
Yeah, and you got half magic. And most people like to just swing away with the Master Sword here because the Ice Head has a little bit less health. You don't have to do a lot of screen switching. But 4 hearts. Trinex in the left corner. This is a little spooky. All right,
Yeah,
all right.
Trinex is hungry here. Wimpy's gonna have a problem.
We're good. I think we're good.
And we are indeed good. There goes Trinex on Wimpy's side. Yeah,
Not far
surprise,
behind.
surprise. Not a whole lot there in Turtle Rock. Wimpy putting Crystal 5 on the board, though.
Not a whole lot. I mean, Go Mode was in there. Our good old boots.
Yeah, who remembers boots? You can't use them there.
True. Who needs boots? Who wants them? What are we, speed running? Oh, geez, Roach. What happened here? Okay, we got a blue potion. We're good. I just noticed that the right head was dead, but not the left one.
Alright, Wimpy on into Desert now. Going to get whichever key this was. Has to be the small key, given the way the layout worked.
Could have it not been the big key?
Yeah, actually, I guess it could have.
Yeah, because they could have gotten the compass
It could
from
have
the
been-
map chest, and then it could have been
Yeah,
big
it could have
key.
been big key and then small key and big chest.
Mm.
That would have been a thing.
Yep. Yeah, but with this layout, you're correct. Big key's going to be somewhere over here on the right side. Press Y. Worldwide Wimpy, press Y. Okay, thank you. I mean, I guess Tempered could have been there, but I think yeah, it could have been there.
Yeah, probably hoping for a sword there. That would be my guess. So Roach is still doing this thing that he's been doing for a little while now, and following right along in the footsteps of Worldwide Wimpy. Joss is into the front of TR now, going to be rewarded with the boots, not here, but in probably 45 seconds to a minute. And Maui is working his way through the Swamp Palace. Looks like a left side diver down going on here.
I do just want to give a live update. We do have a somewhat, 32 runners running this race. Nobody's finished yet. So this is still anybody's race at this point.
Those chain chomps are taking bites out of just about everybody. Joss is at 1 hit point right now.
Or are they?
Well, the safeties are there to be used. That's a good time for it. Wimpy putting on crystal number 6 there. Just has a quick dive back into Meyer, has everything but the boss done, made a caneless dive in earlier, so Wimpy is in pretty good shape amongst our featured runners here. And that includes that not required Aga clear that he made.
Maui trying to set up for... I think they were going for diver down.
Yeah, that was definitely an attempt at diver down. It was not working, but Maui has already smit the key, so...
Yeah, they kind of have to, like... they didn't have to save him quite. So what you have to do there is if you accidentally drown the key, you have to mirror, but then you also have to leave the dungeon and then re-enter, and that will allow you to get that key again. I learned that the hard way one time.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in when you know the tech, but you're maybe not comfortable with it. There are a number of techs out there where you really want it to be race ready before you start trying to use it in a race. Diver down, decidedly on that list.
Yeah, and especially, like, I know this as well, like, whenever I'm on speed gaming, like, back in the day, that's because if I'm an old-timer, I get race nerves when I'm being featured on a stream, so, like, not getting that, pixel perfect, trick down and then not remembering that I can just mirror right there and then, rather than having to save and quit and then walk all the way back. I definitely understand what Mao is going through.
Yep, for sure. Now, we do have Roach pulling down that 6th crystal as well, but Wimpy is here showing off the spooky action glitch in the basement of Meyer.
Yeah, very impressive. That seemed like pretty flawless right there.
Yep, there are a lot of ways to set that up. My visual cue for that second room, I'll just walk in until I'm on the lowered pegs and then start holding up left until the light from the lamp starts to touch the wall and shoot the fire rod, and it times out really well.
Interesting. I've never bothered to, like, set the time aside to, like, learn it, because, like, whenever I'm watching, like, even, like, really good runners run it, they just beef it half the time anyway. So I've just figured out my own way to do, like, the maze room right prior, where I place down the Samaria block, like, super early, and
Oh
then...
my, speaking of
Oh,
things being placed down, we have a main eyeball being placed down on Worldwide Wimpy, who is dead.
oh, that might change things.
That has really evened out the time difference between Wimpy and Roach. Roach is now about a room ahead.
Yeah, well, has
But
Roach
Roach,
already explored?
no, Roach is going to have to find the big key yet, so Wimpy still has some time to give.
Yeah, because I was gonna say Roach has had a couple unfortunate deaths as well. So this, yeah, exactly what you're saying. This could even it out. Where was the
Definitely
big
going.
key?
I do not remember, but it's definitely going to make it a much more even race to the finish than it was previously going to be.
Because, like, if it's Godmire, then it's Godmire.
It's
So
Godmire, so Wimpy is now about half a room ahead. Well, a very small room ahead here. The chase is indeed on.
Go get him, Roach!
And Joss is on 1 heart fighting Trinex here. It being very, very, very aggressive. I think he may have caught a fairy earlier, though.
Nah, Joss has got this handled. I mean, when... I forget who it was who was on 4 hearts. Like, it doesn't really make a lot of difference if you're on 1 or 4 hearts, but... Yeah, they've all got it handled. They're all experienced here.
Wimpy seems to have blown up Spooky. I think what happened was he powdered an anti-fairy for health before the fight and did not kick up dust beforehand, and so threw his Spooky variable away.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Was like, I'm pretty sure there was a powder in there somewhere, and trying to reset that up didn't work.
And trying to get that set was enough time for Roach to pull into a very slight lead here. And now they're going to go back and forth as Roach uses the menu to get to the cape, while Wimpy avails himself of Quick Swap.
Oh yeah, Roach going for the classic. Just cape and swipe. Meanwhile, Worldwide Wimpy going for something akin to NMG strats. Normally you want to walk into the green sludge to take 1 heart of damage so you can get like up into the eyeballs without taking all of the damage from them. Or I mean, you have 30 arrows. You can just shoot the eyeballs. There we go, Worldwide Wimpy.
Yep, gonna go ahead and activate that cape finally, probably wanting to hang on to a little magic after the unfortunate death in the previous attempt, but Roach has crystal number 7 in hand here at 145.45. Wimpy going to be following along behind at 146.04. Hang on to your hats, folks. We've got a race for you.
Oh yeah, do we... I haven't commentated in a while. Do we still do that one game? Are we set up for that?
We do not have a bot for it when we have large group races like this. Unfortunately, there is the possibility that other people off restream have been into Ganon's Tower already and that people might know where that key is. But you can still put your guesses in chat. There's not really anything to be gained or lost by doing so, aside from maybe the pleasure of having made a 1 in 22 guess correctly.
Yeah, and to explain the game, what we like to do is, 1 through 22. How many checks we got to do to find the big key in Ganon's Tower? Now that we're well on our way. So, go ahead, take a guess. How many checks is it going to take?
Given that we had a mirror on blind pull ped seed, this has to be kind of gross, doesn't it? Something like, say, 19 behind Ice Armos?
Yep, it's going to be Tile Room. It's got to be. Check number 22. I agree with Death Dragons. Also an appropriate name for how bad part of this seed was. It's got to be somewhere awful. Flippers on Catfish. Bow in the front of Pod. Head seed.
Yeah, about the only things we didn't have were Agaseed and Ice Rod Hunt, although Wimpy gave us an Agaseed anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And Roach is going to be the first of our restreamed runners into the tower at 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 49 seconds. Here we go. We'll start counting now.
Just one extra job for our tracker. Who's doing an amazing job, by the way.
Starting off with a map and a 50. Let's see. Was it on the torch? Is it easy? No, there's a small key there. Wimpy now also into the tower at 148.33.
And Maui just getting their Samaria after a pretty clean Swamp Palace fight.
Yeah, that's going to put Crystal 4 on the board for Maui. Needs to take that cane to Samaria up to Turtle Rock to find the boots to make the rest of the seed go. And Joss has those 7 crystals as well, is working towards the TR portal here. Gets a bit dead rocked.
Oh, don't. Oh, okay, phew. I thought they dead rocked themselves again right there and then.
Very nearly did, but no, that did seem to work out in the end. Roach on down through Double Firebar Room is going to use Cane of Samaria to do these next couple of crystal switches. If we were playing keys, the big key could be on the shovel that Wimpy and Roach have found in the Stalco's room, but not to be today. And Wimpy is going to go ahead and diverge, going to leave that Stalco's room, go back to the right now that there are a couple of small keys in hand. We could have a sudden reversal of fortune here.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely lost my share of races, even here on Speed Gaming, where like I go right side, my opponent goes left, and then I just lose, kind of thing. So yeah, we could definitely see a big turnaround here.
We'll see Rando Room, and then moments later we'll see Compass Room, and that's going to tell us an awful lot about how this is going to go. It is not Rando Room.
I mean, Jaws could even just go full right and maybe be in play as well. I don't think that's gonna happen. Who the heck does vanilla? What you call it? Dark magician nowadays, but
And there it is. Wimpy has found the big key in the Compass Room.
oh,
Sudden reversal of fortune is indeed real. Wimpy retakes the lead on the restream. Joss could also be in decent position here if he decides to go for those magician strats, but he's killing Stalcos, so this is probably going to be a full left play.
yep, looks like it. Oh, okay, there we go. Ooh, that little bit of slide technique right there.
Yeah, that worked out pretty well for Roach. We'll see what's tucked away back here. We still have some swords outstanding.
I mean, yeah, if it wasn't 3 pieces of hearts in that room, like finding a sword could keep Roach relevant in this game. Like between our restreamed runners, like that speeds up the Ganon fight quite a bit. You know, a good 45 seconds to a minute, depending on your comfortability with Master Sword Ganon.
Even that, it's also useful in a lot of the enemies here in the climb, although Wimpy is putting the fire rod to great effect in at least some of these locations.
Yeah, you got that half magic on the Ganon's climb. Yeah, you're gonna put that to good use. Or you're gonna try to punt the lizard people. I always call them. I know they're not Lizalfos, but just punt them into the spikes for damage as well.
Yep, Tempered Sword is one of those things that makes the red Zazaks just a little easier. You can one-shot them on Tempered Sword.
Oh, don't. Okay. I saw the quick stop to the mirror and I was like, oh no!
That's a dangerous place to be in your life. And there's Roach picking up that big key in the Compass Room. Going to go ahead and make the rest of these checks in case a sword appears. We know that it will not, but the blue mail does. Where is Roach going?
Wait, is Roach going? Wait. Is Roach not? Didn't I just see Roach get the big key?
Yes, you did. I think this might be a spicy play to the big chest.
Huh.
I can't imagine that this actually saves time, but I think this is Roach's power play for a sword.
Yeah, sword, or as chat points out, silvers maybe. $20 rupees!
Yep, have you 20. Eastern Palace wasn't enough for you? Here, have one more.
Buy off an easier fight with Ganon with those 20 roops.
It's a shame you can't just bribe the pig to go away. I guess when you're holding the golden power, a handful of rupees is not really the most meaningful thing in the world.
Oh.
There is Joss picking up the big key, going to be the third runner on the restream to head for the actual climb here.
We did see a very, very valuable mirror shield pickup at the top of Ganon's Tower. Reader, it was not a valuable pickup. Mirror shield is not worth anything at this point. Oh, jeez. Joss having to dance with this Moldorm.
Sometimes the worm does indeed turn, but it looks like Wimpy has managed to smack the tail with 3 of those Master Sword spins. Joss is having a dance of his own with these Beamos and this red mimic, though. And Maui has found the boots is on into the back half of Turtle Rock here.
Yeah, I was gonna say Maui making their way through, just trucking along.
Roach going to head into the refill room there is going to capture at least one fairy. Given the way that some of these boss fights have gone for our runners, I can understand.
And Joss doing this, going into a fairy refill room as well.
Yeah, that play to the big chest allowed Joss to catch up really closely to Roach, about 1 room behind now.
We're seeing a pretty good Aga 2 fight. I think I saw at least... Yep. I didn't catch the direct. It was like 2-1, 2-1.
Something along those lines. It looks like Joss and Roach are both going to try to burn pretty much everything down here. Unsurprising with that fire rod and half magic.
Yeah, chat asking where could have been the book. Yeah, I think the only thing we haven't seen from all of our restreamed runners was maybe Tile Room. Pyramid Fairy could also be it.
Yeah, Pyramid Fairy is a possibility, but Wimpy is dropping into his Master Sword Silverless Ganon fight.
Because Turtle Rock was one of the 5-6 crystals. Maui
Looks like
also taking out the right head first.
that seems to be popular on the restream today.
Hopefully they have enough magic. Oh, geez, they just got chonked. Aw, Maui. Oh, geez. Okay.
Yep, just enough.
We've got too many exciting boss fights going on at the same time.
Right, and then we have Joss and Roach racing up this climb. It looked like Roach had a little bit quicker of a Land Molus 2, and so managed to pull ahead by a room again. And unfortunately, Maui has in fact been chomped by Trinex in Phase 2.
At least they have enough magic to get past this next little bit, and they should be able to get the full magic refill in the Dark Maze room.
This seems to be concerned about exactly that.
So wait, yeah, our swords and the book must have been Pyramid Fairy and Tile Room, right?
Yeah, and behind tablets if the book was available.
Oh, and okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Here we have Wimpy on to phase 4 Ganon, though, going to go ahead and just stick with the lamp. Nice and easy doubles, no reason to do anything wild and crazy here.
Mm-hmm. And for those who are watching, you have to spin the pig. Oh, geez. Ooh, okay. And takes 24 hits, I think. Is that right?
24 Master Sword spins in phase 4 to win. Not necessarily any more difficult than the 12 spins you need with either butter or tempered, but it is more time consuming. There are more chances for things to go just a little bit wrong.
We'll be doing a good job setting up for those triples, even with just the lamp.
Yep, you can triple with the lamp. You do have to have Ganon be a little cooperative for you, though.
Yeah, like he's got to land right next to you. Otherwise, exactly what we just saw happens. He just teleports away.
Yeah, you can't both get the sword charged and into position quickly enough if he's not right on top of you, pretty much.
I mean, then again, Worldwide Wimpy just proved us wrong. He was able to get it all the way over there.
Showing off the nice tech there. Aga 2 down on Roach's side. Looks like Joss may need 1 or 2 more hits here.
We're going to have 3 of our runners in Ganon at the same time, it looks like. Depending on how quickly Worldwide Wimpy gets the pig down from here.
It looks like Roach is going to not go to the pig.
Oh, they may... Roach was also the one we just saw go for the back of Ganon's tower, right? For a potential sword.
Yes,
oh, the mushroom! I forgot about the mushroom.
Yep, Joss is going to drop in, and it was in there just before Wimpy crossed the bridge, going to be the first of our featured restream runners to slay the pig and end Ganon's reign of terror, with a race time GG time of 2 hours and 46 seconds. Good game.
GG's in chat.
That mushroom, of course, we should mention, since we were kind of keeping our eye on that for a hot second, just worth 3 bombs. Joss now working on the pig, Maui having another unfortunate death there on Trinex, but had bottled a fairy in advance this time, so it is not the end of the fight.
Should be fine. Yep, there goes down the second head. Now they just gotta smack a snake around for a little bit. Oh, jeez. Oh, okay, I was worried for a second there for Joss.
I think Joss still has one of those bottled fairies, so not in hugely bad shape here. Probably doesn't want to have to burn it, but now into phase 3 the fight gets a little easier.
Now I'm making good use of that hammer on the Trinex fight. Getting it down.
Yep, down goes Trinex for Maui. That is going to be crystal number 5.
And someone in chat just asked, did we find silvers? The answer is, just now. As Roach finds them in King's Tomb.
Well, that'll make life a little easier, but I don't think it's going to be nearly enough, even if he goes right to the pig, to catch up to Joss, who is into phase 4 even as we speak. Gets the torch glitch, now has to do those 24 spins to win.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one.
Doesn't seem to be nearly as concerned about it as Wimpy was. He's just going to go ahead and take the doubles where he can get them. Walk into a few fire bats.
Yeah, and the tricky thing here is, like, yeah, blue potion, that's good. What a lot of folks, like, when they're learning this fight, don't know is, like, you can't charge up your Master Sword with the lamp.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you can do it with the fire rod. You can, like, shoot the fire rod while Ganon lands and then spin as soon as the animation ends. But with lamp cancels your sword holding out animation, so you can't actually hit him right away, which is why it's so tricky.
Roach is bound and determined to show us absolutely everything in this seed. We are going to see Pyramid Fairy here.
Looking sword? At least a
Piece of
sword.
heart and sword.
Alright,
Now,
Roach, if you don't feel comfortable with this fight now... Yeah, there we go.
yep, going to have a time advantage there, but I feel as long as Joss does not do something really outlandish and fall to the pig here, that the time Roach spent looking for those is not time that he's going to be able to get back.
Yeah, I've been watching Joss pretty closely, and they're playing this, like, very carefully, very, like, smartly. You know, they're not making any big risks. They know they're in a Master Sword Ganon's fight, and that sucks. And they know that, and like they're making all the right precautions to make sure it doesn't go wrong.
Yeah, Roach is into phase 3 here, though, so this is going to tighten up. But not quite enough, as Joss finishes putting 24 Master Sword spins into the pig, has that sword raised in the air at the 2 hour and 5 minute mark, going to cross the bridge here momentarily.
Boom! Good job, Joss.
Get your GGs in chat for Joss Bleedin, the second finisher among our featured runners on the restream here, with a race time GG time of 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 10 seconds. Roach now into phase 4, putting those silvers to right into the hide of the pig. Just needs 1 or 2 more of those, and we're going to be able to call this thing for Roach as well.
Yeah, Roach right behind. You know, Roach was right behind in the tower, and like just those few extra checks, like knowing there's only a few things left in the game, has to be silvers or like sword. Didn't end up losing too much time to it, but GG's to Roach as well.
Yeah, Roach going to go ahead and cross that bridge as well. 2 hours, 5 minutes, 51 seconds, 41 seconds behind Joss. That's a reasonably tight finish for our restream here. Of course, we still have Maui outstanding, has found all of the things that he needs to succeed, just has to go in here, finish out Misery Mire, and then can go climb as well.
We are not too far off from a finish. Yes, Joss, that was a thing. One of our runners asking, where were the Tempered and Silvers, Pyramid Fairy, and King's Tomb? Potentially. I see that we have Worldwide Wimpy on standby. For
Yeah, let's go ahead and pull him on up here, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
We are joined now by our first place finisher from the restream, Worldwide Wimpy. Good game to you.
That seed was weird.
Wasn't it, though?
And I routed it like a clown because I'm sick. I'm doped up on cold medicine. I'm like, I'm just gonna be dumb.
Oh, I was so excited for you though when you made the Aga play. I was like, this is something I would do, because who wants to do like Eastern Palace? Who wants to do all those other checks? You know, let's do Aga. Let's just go for it. I appreciated it.
I despise the mountain. The mountain normally only gives 1, maybe 2 items of progression, and then I had everything else kind of one-off checks. I'm just like, well, I have West Dark World access. I have the cape. I can literally check everything there and be okay. And it ended up being a ped seed anyway, because, you know, yeah. And I don't know what made me go, as I'm looking for progressive items, I'm just going, well, I have doing this or going to Eastern and gambling ped. Okay, I guess I'll go do that then. So...
Yeah, it was a very much back and forth between like you having to do all of that extra stuff, and then Roach also just like god braining. For the restream at least, god braining like both the bow and the flippers like back to back, and that's why you two ended up so close together. But just seeing like the little different things that cause you both to either get ahead or fall behind throughout the entire thing was super interesting.
I almost went over to Catfish first time in Dark World. I almost did that, and I'm like, no, there's so much over there, and if Hammer and Titansmiths are going to be in the Dark World, they're going to be over in Thieves Town. They're going to be in Hype Cave, and just ended up not being that way. But I did Aga so early, and because this was a pet seed, it didn't really matter. I'm guessing the difference in the race time, so that anyone who finished, just above 140 probably fake flipper to get those Titansmiths, which just would have opened up the mountain so much more, and there you get your hammer and you're good to go.
Oh yeah, no one finished under 140. It was 143.46 was our fastest clear today.
I would have been under 2 hours if I didn't die to the moth and I didn't die to Vitreous and I didn't do Aga, but that's like 8 minutes of time right there.
Hi, friends.
We are also joined in the booth here by both Roach and Joss. Good game to you both.
Thanks. GG's, everybody.
I am out of practice.
GG's to all.
I can't believe I died to Argus, of all bosses.
Okay. I would take my death to Mothula on like 6 hearts, no half magic, and dying to Vitreous because somehow I was able to hit Vitreous as he was popping up with my sword, and it got him off center, and then it just killed me.
Dying to Argus, that's just sad. Especially when you're past the first phase. It's the easy second phase.
Now, Roach, I am particularly curious because you did this way earlier than anybody else. The pod play for the bow, and then subsequently leaving and then walking to Catfish for the flippers. What was going on there?
Well, the last few seeds I've played over the last... Well, mind you, I've been doing like 1 seed every 2 weeks lately. I've been busy trying to pack. Pods always had 2 or 3 progression items in every single seed. So I'm like, you know what? I have 3 potions. So let's just go into pod. I can do all but the boss. First chest bow, I'm like, well, guess we're clearing pod. And then I didn't want to isolate Catfish right there, so I was like, I'm just going to do Catfish while I'm here just to make sure it's out of the way.
Yeah, everybody else isolated Catfish until like it was required, basically.
I thought the big play I made was just like actually after all that stuff, I'm like, I can do all 3 pendant dungeons. We're doing pedestal, and just got all 3 pedestal dungeons right after that.
I had the thought to go to Catfish after Skull Woods, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, I can't go this way, and I just put it off way too long.
Yeah, we were expecting a kern jump from you, and then you either mirrored or saved and quit right there.
I will say right at the end of the seed though, which actually probably saved, well, equaled about the same amount of time, just saved me mental ability on that. With how bad I was playing, I did not feel I could pull off a Master Sword Ganon fight. I was like, I have 1 check in GT, the 2 checks in Mire, see, Bonkrock's King's Tomb, Witch's Hut, and Pyramid Fairy. I can do Witch's Hut, Bonkrock, King's Tomb, Pyramid. That's 5 of the 8 checks I have remaining. And 3 of them are either sword. The odds of me finding Tempered Sword is pretty much guaranteed. And that'll just save me like the 2 minutes alone. So I was like, I just was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. I don't care what the time is. At this point, it doesn't matter anymore.
And you know what? Our viewers appreciated it because we were all wondering where could they be, and we had it narrowed down to the same things that you did, where tempered and silvers, like they had to be guaranteed. The one thing I don't think anyone found was the book.
Yeah, never saw it.
The book remains a mystery.
I feel I had to be one of the first to pull Ped though.
Didn't in the credits it say it was at the dig spot, or did I misread things?
Oh.
I think you are right, Joss.
I think I saw something in chat say that.
See, Roach, you would think that, but I did Aga 1 when I found my lamp in Agina or Sasra, and I must have had the pendants before anybody else.
I pulled pedestal at 55-minute mark, I believe.
I might have pulled it somewhere in and around there.
I plan on rewatching this anyway, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I want to know who pulled it first.
I always rewatch seeds after I play them if I'm restreamed.
Because I'm trying to think what all that I did, because Aga, I did left Dark World. I had the 2 pendants. I went up the mountain to get the hammer. Then I fluted into Pod to get the bow. Then I think I checked Desert real quick.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Worldwide Wimpy who had the first ped pull, because I remember like watching them and being like, "You can be doing crystal dungeons right now. You could be going into these other things." And you went to Eastern Palace, and I was like, "Well, I guess you already like were full leaning into the fact that this is potentially an Aga seed. So you did Skullwoods, you did Thieves Town,
Yep.
and then you just went to Eastern Palace without the bow." I remember seeing that, and I think eventually you got the bow, and then just like went full hog into ped seed mode, basically.
Yeah, I think I did.
That's pretty much what
because I
my
did
thought was. I was
Eastern-
like, let's just do it. Let's just get out of the
Yeah.
way. We're restreamed. Let's do it for chat. If it pays off,
Yeah,
it
'cause-
pays off.
That was my thinking too. It was, well, I'm already like 2/3 of the way there. There's an item on Armos. I already got the green pen, and I'll go turn this into. Let's see what kind of dumb things I can get. And I ended
Exactly.
up being in the mirror, and I'm just like, okay, I need that. And
The
I
grin
was
on
so
my
happy
face
to see
when I
that
pulled
red
that mirror
beam.
off, though, I was like, yes.
Man, if there
Oh, yeah,
wasn't anything, I was about ready to forfeit at that point.
Oh yeah, we were popping off over here on the commentary table when we saw the blind ped pull for the mirror. That was great for us and the viewers.
And apparently it was a mandatory blind ped pull too.
Yep.
Because Shovel was in GT.
I was so upset when I got that red can. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we got to go check Desert real quick to see if that's boots locked, and if it's not,
Yeah,
we're
Raid
go
Cane
mode,
is
and-
what. I got my flute and Raid Cane pretty late.
No,
If
If I
that
may
was-
interject really quick on the restream, Maui is still running and is going to show us what's in Tile Room.
Let it be a sword,
you-
please.
Oh yeah, we're gonna find out if this final sword.
One check I did not do in GT. And yes, I did do the big chest. I was hoping that would pay off.
Oh, that's where I eclipsed you. I did Dark Magician, and then I went right back right. So
I full cleared the basement.
Oh.
instead of,
Yeah, I full clear basement too.
Womp womp, just bombs. I said after I did the full left, went back, did the right. After I got the big key, I'm like, let's just continue and get the big chest. Why not? Hope it's a sword.
oh,
Yeah, mushroom was also bombs. I did check that.
Oh, where was the mushroom?
It was in GT. Or no, wait, where was mushroom?
I
It
did
maybe G. It was in
It was-
TR, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was TR.
I checked everything in TR. Maybe it was in Mimic
Yeah.
Cave.
Oh, was it? Yeah, if it was Mimic Cave, then yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It was Mimic
Yeah,
Cave.
that's right. That's where it was.
Because I got the boots on the lava chest. I'm like, well, I don't have to check anything else in here, so I'm just gonna go straight.
So
to
we
the back,
don't
go to
know where the
ballroom,
fourth sword
grab-
is. So did anyone full clear Mire?
I did.
No,
There
I
was
didn't.
nothing.
Nothing in my.
All right, so it's not a Mire. That means
I
magic.
think we're going to
anyone
have to
check
find
magic
it on a
bat?
tablet. I think it's shovel to the book to one of the tablets.
Yeah, there was one check in desert I didn't do, but other than that, I think I got
Yeah.
every.
I got both items in desert.
There's an
anyone
item
do
in the
magic
big
bat?
chest in desert, so
So the only thing that we don't know for sure is both tablets and magic bat. I've checked everything else with everyone. So there has to be a sword in one of those.
or block
Almost
rocks,
tablets
since
melee
boots were so
trade.
late.
Chat said.
Did anyone check block
Probably
rocks?
saw that.
Yeah, Bonkrock's the check.
I did. I checked it. One cracks was bombs or $20 something. Kingston was the silvers, which was nice.
As soon as I got those boots, I'm just like, all right, let's just finish this seed. And
Oh, I checked
there's
it. I
gotta
checked
be
it
a sword
before.
in GT.
I checked it before Ganon.
There's gotta be a sword in GT, right?
And then I
Not-
routed it correctly by going Dark Magician, then back right and just like, okay, well, I guess I don't have a sword.
That's why after I finish GT full clearing it, I'm like, I'm going to spend the like 2 minutes doing these extra couple checks because the odds of me finding a sword are insanely high, which have made up for the 2 minutes of me doing the checks.
Yeah, Roach, you could have dropped into Ganon a handful of seconds before Jost, and instead you decided to go do all of those checks and were still only about 40 seconds behind after doing all of them. The power of Tempered Sword Silvers versus Master Sword Silverless on display.
Yeah, I've closed a 8-minute gap with Tempered Silver versus Master Sword, so...
As I said,
8
For my-
minutes.
for
Yes! Yeah,
for my
I've closed...
own mental sake and how I was playing, because I had 3 really bad deaths in this seed. One, I had one on Argus and the one in TR right before Lava Island and one in Chain Chops in TR. Which I actually thought I made it through the door. I was scratching my eye, not looking at my screen. So I'm like, wait, what? I'm dead? Because I thought I walked through the door.
We do have someone in chat saying that the last sword was on Magic Bat.
Yeah,
Oh, this seed was so gross.
Yeah. I was waiting for someone to be like, ugh.
Terrible location on top of terrible location, surrounded by terrible location. Welcome to Rando, ladies and gentlemen.
Enjoy your stay.
I mean, didn't we have a couple weeks ago, we had both bows locked in mire and powder, which the powder was
yep.
in big chest of mire.
Yeah, I played that seed.
I played that one and I pieced out of mire and everyone was like, oh no, the bow's on Vinny. And then it just, here's the other one on bat. Oh, this game just sometimes is pain and agony, but we like it.
Yes, and I've been out of practice with the randomizer league starting back up very shortly. Gotta start focusing again.
Gotta start hopping back into good old Speed Gaming Daily. Which, again, if you are watching right now, I put it in a little bit ago, but, you know, our runners put on a good performance for us today. Give them a follow. They're fun people. They're willing to put themselves on display for our entertainment kind of thing. And then also be sure to give the commentators and our solo tracker, a follow. Because they are doing God's work here today by themselves, tracking 4 people at the same exact time. So thank you again to Madewalk oh, good lord, I can never say your name right. Madewalk Herd, good lord, for your hard work today.
And
Well, you
it's
just
my
get all of the
debacle.
hard names, don't you?
Ugh.
Just Lumberjack. You've
Yeah.
got Matt Ewok Herd on one side, you've got Mind DM on the other. I mean, at least the runners had easy names today, right?
Oh, God bless.
I will say, whoever the tracker was, you're awesome tracking 4 people at once. That's a hard job. Especially with a seed like this, and me intentionally doing something different in the beginning just to mess with you.
There were definitely situations where all 4 of you were in very different locations at the same time. We had you guys spread all across the world of Hyrule at several points.
I mean, right in the beginning of the seed, since I always do a Link's House to Uncle start, just to get the increased chance of getting bombs, money, or a bottle type thing, you know, before I go to CAC, it's like, oh, a sword. I might as well just do an escape. Oh, the glove. I guess I'll do, oh, bombs. I guess I'll do the back of escape. Guess I have to do Dark Room to, yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing we saw as well. Is like a lot of people just put off the back of escape for so long, where the Moon Pearl was just sitting.
And I had it done within like 5 minutes.
Can we talk about Blind's house real quick and the fact that they were
I
the last
laughed.
blower today?
I laughed. And then immediately finding the 4th bottle in Lake Hylia. That was
Yeah,
it.
nobody bothered to achieve bottle percent. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, why didn't any of you go for that? Like
If it
Hylia.
was a B, I may have gotten it. If it was a B, but it was a red potion.
Yeah. Who wants a red potion? We all want bees around here.
Bees are the best weapon.
Hey, I've
They kill
actually killed,
Mothula.
I killed a moth using bee before. I had a fight. I went into a fighter sword moth fight. With 3 bees in my battles. It worked.
See, I've done that, and I've accidentally deleted the floor in there, which meant I had to save and quit because I didn't have the mirror and redo it. I sprite overloaded with the bee, and it wouldn't drop my weapon, or it wouldn't drop my prize.
I had that happen in Thieves Town with Blind. The Samoria block deleted the crystal. It actually soft locked my game.
Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't know that was possible until it happened. It was quite an experience.
That's actually how you do the true meme low percent category. You use things like those Samaria blocks and the sprite overload to delete all of the heart containers, so you finish the game on 3 hearts.
I said it was a very interesting way to do it, especially when it was being restreamed, and I kind of had to forfeit out at that point because I haven't saved in a long time. I was like clueless on what to do.
Meanwhile, don't mean to interrupt. We do have Maui in the Ganon fight, doing like really good work with the hook shot there to avoid damage.
And he immediately gets hit twice as you say that.
And no, I try to prop him up, and then
Computer's curse. It's real.
should have
Yeah,
knocked
this is
on
gonna-
wood.
This is gonna be a fun watch back because if you guys are saying that we were all over the place, I want to see the response of, oh, he's going for Aga 1 instead of climbing the mountain.
Yeah. Oh no, that was there.
Yep, that's in there.
That
You'll
was there. I
get
was
that
like,
one, Whippy.
do they know?
Oh yeah, I knew.
As soon as I got that lamb, the Aga 1 play did come to my mind. I'm like, oh god, this screams seed screaming Aga 1 now.
So,
But I'm like,
so
I've already done escape. Let me just go to the mountain. Let me just be smart about this and go to the mountain.
just to walk through all of that is like 70 seconds, and I'm like, I could just do Aga 1 in like 90 seconds and, you know, knock out Darkwold stuff. That sounds way better than climbing the mountain.
But the fact of how early it seems that each of us has pulled Ped makes me curious just on that fact. Like how much of us actually had that same idea of just like rush pending dungeons.
All right, final phase for Maui.
I had to have been the first person to do the first 2 pendant dungeons. I had to have been.
Oh yeah, you 100% were.
First 2 at least, yeah. I'm going to actually pull up the VOD right now just out of curiosity because I ain't to know this.
Well, because I had Aga dead at what, 18 minutes in or something like that? Maybe even sooner?
Yeah, something
It was
along those lines. It was
early.
early.
Yeah, when I get here, have a glove, have hook shot, have moon pearl, have
Right,
lamp
well,
pierce,
let's
cape,
get the-
and master sword. That's just
50.
like, oh, okay. There's a glove or hammer over in Village of Outcast. I need to go do that.
You pull the I just got my pendant out of Eastern Palace as you're walking into the woods to pull Ped, which I literally save and quit and went to pull Ped right after that. So you got it about like a minute before me, Joss. That's literally how close you and I were on pulling that.
Yeah, I remember us being very excited to see you folks do the blind pull, and then being like, "Oh yeah, we're getting it like multiple times in a row. We're getting multiple mirror finds right now."
Yeah, and I did Eastern just going, my other options suck. So I might as well choose the worst option and just go do it.
I had it like for me, like since I already dipped Eastern early, like right after Saha, I was like, going back to Eastern was such a hard decision, but I'm glad I did. Otherwise, I would have 100% let last location that mirror.
Meanwhile, Maui, still going through their Ganon fight. 24 swings. They're doing this pretty cleanly so far. They're going for the doubles, the safe doubles for the time being, but they're doing it.
They're doing really
I
well
was
in that
super
fight.
happy with my Ganon, actually. I was pulling off triples with the lamp and just.
I need to learn how to get more consistent with triples.
Yeah, me too.
It's super easy with fire rod. It's a little bit harder with the lamp, and I'm like, well, I didn't win the race, so I might as well practice this. So, and I ended up going like 4 cycles in a row, clipping lamp, walking over, getting a triple, and then he decided that he was gonna hug the frickin' torch. So.
Now, I will say there was one seed I did. This was about 6 months ago. It was one of the mystery dailies. You were forced to do an 8-heart green male Master Sword Ganon fight with 1 bottle and regular magic.
Forced is a relative term. You could have gone more, but
it was a
was it?
beatable seed, and all sequence breaks that were doable were done. You could
And
only
that-
get the 2 swords and 8 hearts.
Speaking of beatable, Maui just beat Ganon, so everybody get your GGs in chat.
It was like a 28-minute seed for the people who finished first. It was stupid. Anyway, good job, Maui.
Maui going to go ahead and stand in the Triforce room here with a race time GG time of 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 40 seconds. That is the last of our restreamed runners to finish. We do still have 1 runner outstanding in the grand scheme of things, with a total of 30 entrants to start the day with. We had quite the crowd come in, and, well, enjoy may be a strong word for it, but hopefully the viewers got plenty of enjoyment out of this one.
Yeah, among those 30 some odd people, at least 1/5 of them forfeited, and it was just like, no. So, credits to all who struggled through and finished, and no beef to those who realized that this was a shenanigan of a seed, basically, and just wanted to peace out. I do not blame you.
I'll say the crazy thing is, this is one of the more enjoyable seeds I've played lately. Because I keep getting those like super linear sealed like 20 minutes in, like, alright, you can only do this to give you to go this, to do this, and it's just boring.
The more required mountain climbs I have in a seed, the more and more of a mountain of salt I become.
And we are joined in the booth here by Maui. Good game to you.
Hello, good game. Thank you very much.
GGs. How you feeling after all of that?
Well, considering it was my first speed gaming experience, it was a wonderful seed for my first time around.
Well, welcome.
Speed, was it?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, all I kept thinking about was after I failed the jumping back into the water at under the bridge there. I kept thinking, man, what a road I could have had, because I was planning on going right up there. I would have gotten my my second gloves and would have done 1 trip on the mountain. But, you know, thinking that the whole way through, it kept messing everything up, and then in the end, you had to do everything anyway. So I don't know if I would have been even better off at all.
No, you did very well. Like, again, welcome to speed gaming. This is a show for all things, especially considering, you know, again, as you pointed out, like what kind of seed this was. This went all different ways. We saw you all in different corners of the world at some point. You know, we had Worldwide Wimpy doing Aghanim. We had Roach like god routing for the bow and the flippers, and then everybody reconverging later on. So yeah, this was a seed that could have gone any which way. And props to you for finishing it up.
Yeah, well, you know, thank you very much. Usually things go better than that. I think maybe some of the nerves from going live maybe got to me a bit there. But hey, I had a fun time with it, and I'll always be coming back for some more. So that's always good times. I'm glad to see that you know, nobody finished in, you know, an hour and a half or lower for you know, beating me by an hour would have felt a little bad, but.
Hey, just blame the mistakes on Russ. Even if it is, just blame it on Russ. That's what I do.
Yeah, perfect.
Done. Easy.
Sounds like a plan.
I am on all the Dayquil you can imagine, so.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, well, there isn't really much else to say about that seed other than I had that thought stuck in my mind. So, it's good to hear that we all went different routes, though. It felt like that seed could have been played many different ways, but yeah, in the end, it's just do all the dungeons.
Do it all. Well, with that being said, if no one else has anything to say, do we have any final closing comments that folks, runners, that you would like to say? And again, I'm going to say this to chat. Follow our runners. Again, they are putting themselves out there for us to watch and have something to do on this fine Sunday afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are. But for the runners, do you have any final closing comments you'd like to say before we start to shut this down?
I think there's the obligatory thank you so much for providing commentary. Without you guys voicing over it, it's not quite as fun. And of course, we had the superstar tracker who decided to track. Did we still end up only have one tracker in the end? One tracker for 4 people?
Yep.
That's insane, especially how divergent the sea could have been. So thank you so much for tracking as well.
And how divergent the seed actually was with us 4.
The only thing I have to say is make sure you get your COVID jab. It's getting worse and worse. Make sure you protect yourself first.
Just had my second shot Thursday.
Nice.
The side effects after the second one suck.
See, I had mine were with my first one. I was out for about 4 days. My second one, my arm was slightly sore and I was good.
I mean, for me, it's just the next day. I was done the next day. After that, day 2, I was fine. The first one, my arm's sore, and that was it.
Yeah, the second one for me was just all shivers, but go get your COVID shots. And if nothing else, thank you again to our racers, Worldwide Wimpy, Roach, Joss Bleedin, and Maui. Thank you all for hanging out with us. I am Slumberjack, my co-com, Mind Diem. I'm going to leave it to you to close this out, and everybody else, have a good one.
I'll make
All
one
right,
last
thank you
comment.
so much.
If you joined this race late, go back and watch it. This is probably definitely a good race to go back and watch.
Yep, I think Roach said it. If you came in on the end of this one, you can go back and start from the beginning. This one had all the twists and turns you could imagine. This has been the Speed Gaming Daily presentation of the Link to the Past Randomizer Daily Race Series, our Sunday Open. If you're looking for a little more speed gaming action in your life, you can head over to speedgaming.org/schedule and see the other things that we still have on the table for the evening. The Dragon Warrior Randomizer Weekly should be starting right around now. We've got an OOTR Crowd Control, New Super Mario Bros. U, Aria of Sorrow Rando, Zelda 1 Rando coming up later. Going on into the rest of the week, there is yet more action to be had there. You can just go, once again, speedgaming.org/schedule. You can see and find all the rando action you can stando, and some regular speed runs beside. Going forward this week for the Link to the Past Randomizer Daily Race Series, tomorrow 11 p.m. Eastern, we're going to kick the week off with Open 7-7, Defeat Ganon, regular old-fashioned settings there. A hard mode casual boots on Tuesday, regular casual boots Wednesday, a no logic glitched mode on Thursday night. If you want to see something a little different, you might want to tune in for that. And we'll finish the week out with a Triforce hunt on Friday afternoon. But for now, for all 4 of our runners, for our wonderful tracker who did all of the work this afternoon, Mad Ewok Herd, for my co-com, Slumberjack, I am Mind DM saying stay safe. Go ahead, get that COVID shot if it is available to you. It does help, and the side effects, some people have it a little worse than others. And that's the way life goes. But go ahead, protect yourselves, stay safe, stay healthy. Those wonderful things like that. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. We're going to sign this thing off. Have a good night, everybody.
Farewell.